Hello, everyone. I am giggling at my Gemini self because I pre-prepare a bunch of Instagram posts ahead of time. And then what I tend to do is sometimes plan to do certain things. And then I only see when I get there that requires a little bit more work. So one of the reasons that I'm here on YouTube doing a little foot yoga and massage is because that's what I have scheduled for Instagram. So I just wanted to, let me try and move back a little bit, to come in, and it's in line with, at the moment, last quarter moon in Pisces, and Pisces rules the feet, so it's a time that I really love to do some foot connection on some level. So let's just start by rubbing our hands, because we have minor chakras in the palms of our hands, and as we activate them, a beautiful touch healing energy starts to come into play. And then we're going to connect with our feet. So you can do this any way you want. I'm going to move my seat. You can just touch your feet, or you can bring your feet into a different pose, whatever works. We also have soul chakras, same thing. So I just want to rub my soles to my palms, or my palms to my soles, and I'm breathing slowly. Well, I'm talking, but you're breathing slowly as you engage in this practice of connecting. And this is always good to do. It doesn't have to align with Pisces Gemini, but Gemini rules the hands, and we're in Gemini season, and Pisces rules the feet, and we're in last quarter moon in Pisces. So it's just a really soothing touchstone for today. I can feel my Gemini self coming down to earth as we begin this process. Okay, so I'm just going to turn sideways on my mat, and this is really just going to be a few minutes of simple yogic practice. So we're going to just root our heels into the earth, toes to the heavens, palms up in what is called bunches of flowers mudra, this beautiful open receptive energy. And just take a moment here. And even though the focus is kind of our feet, we're going to use our hands and feet today. So bringing up your arms, keep the tops of the shoulders down and the chin gently engaged, so you feel an elongation in the back of the neck. And if you struggle to sit like this, you can lift your bums by sitting on a prop. And you're just going to reach into your digits, spread your fingers and toes, and scrunch. It's cold here, so I'm not taking off my socks till I rub some oil on my feet. So just opening and closing, engaging those joints. And then let's point and flex, getting into the ankles and wrists. Keep the core engaged by gently lifting your pubic bone up and drawing your belly button back towards your spine. Tops of the shoulders are down. Make sure to breathe. Yoga fists. So we wrap the fingers around the thumbs and we'll circle inwards. Keep breathing. Keep checking in where the alignment may be struggling. So if your core is getting weak, let's reverse. Or if your shoulders are starting to pull up to your ears, come to center. Now, we're going to do a little tricky thing. Requires a little bit of balance. You're going to shift your balance. You've got to engage your core to just behind your sacrum and rub soles and palms. Again, we're activating that soul and palm energy. And then we come back down, root and root. And now we're going to go clockwise. And anti-clockwise. And then just root those heels, shake out those hands, flick out those fingers, and come back for a moment to bunches of flowers, soft little receptive cups in your hands. And take a few deep breaths here. Just engage in whatever you're feeling. And you should feel the energy flowing now through your hands and feet, like they probably weren't before. And then we're going to continue with this kind of loving touch feeling. So we're going to work down the legs. So we're doing forward folding, but we're doing it in a kind of soothing, dynamic way. So you're just touching wherever. And if you know that your hips are hurting, or your knee, or your one knee, you can spend a little bit of extra awareness in that space. And if you can get all the way down to your feet and ankles, do that. But just trust in your body, and we're just easing Both Gemini and Pisces are mutable signs, and I realize by the time you find this video, it may not be Gemini and Pisces, but it's still good to start thinking and feeling into the archetypal energies and essences of a sign. We're going to stay forward. If you're reaching your feet, just feel yourself starting to love up on them a little. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, and this is going to require the removal of socks if you're wearing them, is we're going to stick our fingers between our toes. This can be super uncomfortable if you're not used to it. And when you start doing these exercises, but it really opens up the bones of your feet. And you're going to really relax into this leg and going to do an ankle crank. So the ankle is completely relaxed and the hand does the work. It's like a deep massage for your ankle. I find this very soothing. I used to struggle with the fingers between the toes. So if it's super uncomfortable, maybe skip one toe just to give yourself a bit more space. Reverse, but it does open up the foot. So over time, it gets easier. Okay, and now we're just going to do almost like a Chinese bangle on the arch of our foot, doing it all the way up from the big toe, and then let's go the other way down. Just remembering in reflexology, this is our spine. So as we do that, we're feeling, how is my spine feeling? Okay, just a gentle connect. We'll just take it into a forward bend. Make sure your extended heel is rooted, toes to the heavens. Relax into this hip and groin. Reach up through the spine. Inhale. And exhale, draw forward and down. Actually, use your hands to draw you. And then wherever you get, you can take a moment, place your hands wherever is comfortable for you, and try to relax there. So if you want to keep that foot connection, you can literally be holding your long foot if you reach there, or you can stay connected to your bent leg foot, whatever works for you. Just be present. Try to breathe and relax. Feel the opening of your hip. And I mean, when we're working to our feet, we have to feel the energy through our legs. So we don't start at the feet and we don't end at the feet. Depending which way you're going, we have legs that attach to the spine, and so on and so forth. That song comes to mind. The knee bone connects to the hip bone, straighten, bend, straighten to align that leg. And then we're going to bring the other one up. And shed the sock there if you have one. And bringing those fingers between the toes, weave them in. And then once you're all open in that foot, you can begin the ankle crank. Again, to just remember that the ankle is completely relaxed and you are using the hand to massage. If you're a jaw clencher or you're super tight in your groin, just make sure you're not clenching. Strong connection between jaw and groin. Let's reverse. So that when we're opening the hip and groin, if you're a clencher, you might find that you start to grit those teeth. Nice easing into that ankle as we slowly open through the hip, knee, inner thigh as well. Okay, and then releasing those fingers. We're going to do our little Chinese bangle one way and then the other. It doesn't really matter which way you go first. You're just feeling into, sometimes it clicks, then it's a spinal adjustment. That's cool if it happens naturally, don't force. Then we're going to root, reach, inhale, and reach from the heart, pivot from the hips, draw yourself forward, get where you get, and place your arms where you're comfortable. Nice deep relaxation, recognizing what's different on this side from the other, or just letting your brain switch off. If it will do that, let it switch off and be present. And then coming up on an in-breath, and we're going to just do a little straighten, bend, straighten, and come back to that elongated staff pose, root those heels. We're going to do a forward fold. We've already kind of been prepping for this anyway, but we're going to make it a bit more official. So reach up on the in-breath. And exhale, pivot forward and down. Lead with your heart. Get wherever you get. If you can connect to your feet, do. If you can't, it doesn't matter. Feel into your feet energetically. This is also known as the pose of spontaneous healing. So as you fold and release down into the mat, into the earth, into your body, into your breath. Just allow yourself to heal. And that lovely saying, we have to feel to heal. Whatever emotions bubble up, let them come through. And coming up on an in-breath. Okay, the last thing I want to do for this little mini foot support is a little mini foot rub. We're going to start with the right foot, because if we're doing reflexology, we definitely want to work with the right first. So we're not doing proper reflexology, we're just doing a foot rub, but it's always best to do that anyway. So I'm going to use a little bit of fractionated coconut oil. I use doTERRA oils, but any high quality brand will do. If you want to know more about doTERRA, do ask me. I'm using a blend called Balance, working on my feet while we're dealing with sort of very dualistic energy, Gemini and Pisces both being dualistic. Not too much, because you don't want to have oily feet and be sliding around all day. You just need a little bit for glide and absorption. And a couple of drops of Balance. Oh, it smells divine. I wish I could send, oh, that's so nice. Send you the smell. Fortunately, I can't. You can get some for yourself if you want, though, and I can help you with that if it's doTERRA. Okay, now we're just going to connect with our feet. And actually, don't make it too formal. Just where does it feel like you want to have some touch on your feet? Remember, we've activated our palm chakras. We've activated our soul chakras. We know this is the spine. If you feel parts here, this little caterpillar walk, can you see that with my thumb? That's a good way to feel into places. You can do it in different directions. You can do it in different spaces just to feel. Where's the tenderness? Where wants, and then learn yourself. I like to use my thumb knuckle. I stopped doing massage as a part of my offerings because my hands get a bit sore. They can't cope, especially with deep pressure. But this is a good way. If you can't press in with your thumb or your nails along, you can use that knuckle. So I'm gliding that knuckle into my foot and just feeling where are those spaces that just need a little bit of extra pressure or hold. Work to the other side. So if this inside arch is your spinal area, the outside arch is the joints. And then the top part of your foot has to do with your lymphatics. So just working there to see, how are my lymphatics feeling? What am I feeling where? Just be interested. It doesn't matter if you know your reflexology or your meridians or your chakras. It doesn't actually matter. Obviously, if you know that stuff, that's great, and you can build it into your practice. Just even feeling into the ankle, worked into that ankle. How does it feel? Give it a little love. Feel into the Achilles tendon. How does that feel? You've had Pluto move into Aquarius, which rules the Achilles tendon, and he's about to step back out of Aquarius, but it's a lot for us to hold in the space of our body. Pluto's a tough chap. And the toes, don't forget the toes. So the big toe is the head and the neck in reflexology. So if you're a head, neck, tensiony type of person, play around in there. And the other toes all linked to sinuses. I'm not a reflexologist, so I'm giving you rudimentary. I've studied some reflexology through my studies, but not a reflexologist per se. Okay, so we're just giving it a little rub. Essential oils on the feet are a very powerful way to sort of speed up healing. So if you are in a summer country or summertime, you might not want to put socks on, but then use maybe a tissue just to get the slipperiness away. If you want to put your socks back on, that also the warmth then of your feet helps to push that oil into your feet. And obviously you're going to do the other side. So again, I'm using I don't even think that's half a teaspoon. It's less than half a teaspoon of oil. And you can use a different oil. I'm using, as I say, fractionated coconut oil, but you could use any carrier oil. If you've got a nut allergy, you would avoid sweet almond or nut oils, but you could then go for a seed oil instead, like grapeseed. You can even use like a coconut oil that you would use in your kitchen. It might go hard, but you just put a spot in and warm it, and then it will, you see, fractionated has gone through a process that keeps it loose. But otherwise, coconut oil will, depending on the temperature that you're living in and the temperature at the time, it might go hard. But that doesn't matter. You could even use olive oil. It's just quite thick and sticky. And with regards to the essential oil, again, what are you feeling? What do you want? It doesn't matter. I'm trying to achieve a little bit of balance right now, and I know that dropping into my body, I need embodying. That's one of my things. What do you need? What is it that you're seeking? You know, peppermint is great for the feet. It's great from a smell perspective. It's deodorizing, and obviously we often like to deodorize our feet, but it's also just a really good foot oil on numerous different fronts. Yeah, I mean, herb oils tend to be great for digestion. And because we're working on reflexology spots and bottoms or tops of meridians, mostly bottoms, you might find that because it's going to infuse into those spaces. So if you're working with digestive troubles, sure, rub into your gut, but you can also rub into your feet for access to your gut or your sinuses. So peppermint, for example, if we stick with that example, is good for digestion and good for sinuses and good for our lungs and good for our memory and. So some beautiful ways that you can engage. So really, there's not a wrong way to do this, but it's such a simple, short practice to kind of feel into where you're at. How are you standing in this earth at the moment? How are you standing your ground? How are you holding your boundaries? How are you moving forward? Those kind of questions. Think about what your feet bring up for you. And then when you're ready, you can take as long as you want with these, obviously. You're just going to come back to sitting. Okay, the other thing is essential oils don't like to be left open. They're quite volatile, so ideally you want to close them up quite quick. Now, if your hands still smell delicious, do what's called a scent tent, where you bring your hands like a little tent, cupping your nose, not pressing, and breathe. Think about 3 deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the nose, or if you prefer, in through the nose, out through the mouth. If you do the mouth, do an audible sigh. Feel like that's quite a decompressing process. And then I want you to just take your hands and place them wherever feels good for you. For me, it's my diaphragm and my heart today. And allow yourself to drop in and feel a bit of self-love and gratitude. And I'm grateful for you. If you've watched this video and you've done this for yourself, then thank you and well done. Namaste. Thanks for watching.